The bustling streets of Lagos hum with activity as Mercy, a kind-hearted businesswoman in her late 30s, steps out of her car near a crowded marketplace. She's always been charitable, and when she spots a frail-looking beggar woman, Mama Kay, sitting by the roadside with a tattered bowl, something about her sorrowful eyes tugs at Mercy's heart. The woman's hands tremble as she reaches out, whispering, "Help me, my daughter." Mercy, moved, drops a few naira notes into her bowl and walks away, unaware of the sinister gaze following her. Later that night, Mercy finds herself unable to sleep. Thoughts of the beggar woman haunt her, and a strange sense of unease settles in her chest. Suddenly, the lights flicker, and a soft knock echoes through her quiet apartment. Her pulse quickens as she approaches the door, peering through the peephole. The hallway is empty, but the eerie feeling that she's being watched refuses to leave her. A week later, Mercy stops by the same street corner and sees Mama Kay again. This time, the old woman appears weaker, barely able to lift her bowl. Something about her presence unsettles Mercy, but she shakes it off, assuming it's just pity. She kneels beside the beggar, asking about her health, and Mama Kay's eyes gleam with gratitude. "You are an angel, my daughter," she murmurs. Mercy hands her a few more bills, promising to return with food. That evening, Mercy stops by a local store and buys a bag of groceries for Mama Kay. She hurries back to the corner, but the beggar is gone. Confused, she asks a nearby fruit vendor about the old woman. The vendor frowns. "Madam, that woman no be ordinary person. People way help am before dawn suffer." Mercy laughs nervously, but the words linger as she drives home, feeling a chill run down her spine. That night, Mercy has a vivid nightmare. In her dream, she sees Mama Kay standing in her bedroom, her eyes glowing red. The old woman grins wickedly, whispering, "You have opened the door." Mercy wakes up drenched in sweat, gasping for air. The room is silent, but the fear lingers in her bones. She reaches for her phone to call her best friend, Chica, but stops herself. It's just a bad dream, nothing more. The next morning, Mercy's housekeeper, Ikit, notices something strange. A faint chalk marking has appeared on the doorstep. "Madam, dis one no be good sign," Ikit mutters, her voice laced with fear. Mercy dismisses it as street kids playing pranks, but deep down, doubt begins to fester. Days pass, and strange occurrences begin to unfold. Objects move on their own, shadows flicker in places they shouldn't, and Mercy hears whispers in the dead of night. She convinces herself that she's overthinking, until one evening when she spots a figure standing outside her gate. It's Mama Kay, staring up at her window, unmoving. Mercy's heart pounds as she watches from behind the curtain. Suddenly, the old woman tilts her head unnaturally, her mouth stretching into an inhuman smile. Mercy stumbles back, knocking over a lamp. By the time she looks again, the street is empty. But the fear remains, growing like a dark cloud over her soul. Desperate for answers, Mercy confides in Chica, who immediately insists on taking her to a spiritual leader. They visit Pastor Emmanuel, a well-respected cleric known for dealing with dark forces. The pastor listens carefully as Mercy recounts her experiences, his face grave. "You have been marked," he says solemnly. "This is no ordinary beggar. She is part of something much darker." Mercy scoffs at the suggestion, but the pastor's unwavering gaze sends a shiver down her spine. He hands her a small bottle of anointed oil and instructs her to pray fervently. "Do not give her anything again," he warns. "You have invited her into your life, but you must close the door." That night, Mercy follows the pastor's advice, sprinkling the anointed oil around her home. As she prays, A sudden gust of wind blows through the room, slamming her bedroom door shut. She gasps, clutching her chest. The whispers return, louder this time, as if mocking her efforts. She grips her Bible tightly and continues praying until the noises fade away. The next day, Mercy visits the market again, determined to confront Mama Kay. However, the old woman is nowhere to be found. Instead, she notices a group of beggars whispering and casting glances at her. One of them, a hunched man with a deep scar, approaches her. "Leave that woman alone," he warns. "She is not what she seems." Mercy's blood runs cold. Determined to uncover the truth, Mercy and Chica track down an elderly herbalist known as Ali Baba Jide, who has dealt with spiritual matters for decades. Upon hearing the story, Baba Jide's expression turns grim. "Mama Kay is a vessel," he explains. "She feeds off kindness to bind souls to darkness." Shaken, Mercy demands to know how to break the bond. Baba Jide instructs her to perform a midnight cleansing ritual, using fire and specific herbs, warning that failure will leave her vulnerable. "And whatever you do," he emphasizes, "do not let her touch you again." At midnight, Mercy and Chica set up the ritual in her backyard, placing the herbs in a small fire pit as instructed. The flames flicker ominously as Mercy recites the prayers given to her. The air grows thick, and a chilling presence fills the space. Just as Mercy throws the last herb into the fire, the flames turn an eerie blue, and a piercing scream echoes in the night. The next morning, Mercy wakes up exhausted but hopeful. However, as she steps outside, she freezes in terror. Mama Kay is standing by her gate, smiling knowingly. Mercy feels her knees go weak as she stumbles backward. "You think fire can stop me?" the old woman hisses. "This is far from over." Mercy's fear intensifies as she begins receiving mysterious calls from unknown numbers, each one filled with heavy breathing. One night, she finds a blood-red cloth tied to her door handle, a known symbol of a death curse. Chica insists they leave town, but Mercy refuses to run. "I need to end this," she whispers. Desperate, Mercy returns to Baba Jide, who reveals that Mama Kay is a spirit cursed to roam until she finds a willing replacement. "She wants you," he warns gravely. "You must break the cycle by rejecting her completely." Determined to end the nightmare, Mercy faces Mama Kay one last time, armed with all she has learned. In a terrifying showdown, Mercy recites the final prayer while Mama Kay's form begins to wither, her screams filling the air. As dawn breaks, the old woman vanishes, leaving only silence behind. At midnight, Mercy stands in her courtyard, surrounded by protective charms and a burning circle of salt. Mama Kay appears, her form no longer human. Her eyes glow red as she hisses, "You cannot escape me." The ground trembles as dark mist surrounds them. Mercy, with a newfound resolve, recites the final prayer. At midnight, Mercy stands in her courtyard, surrounded by protective charms and a burning circle of salt. Mama Kay appears, her form no longer human. Her eyes glow red as she hisses, "You cannot escape me." The ground trembles as dark mist surrounds them. Mercy, with a newfound resolve, recites the final prayer, her voice growing stronger with each word. Mama Kay shrieks in agony as her form begins to disintegrate. Just when Mercy thinks she has won, Mama Kay lunges forward, her skeletal hands reaching for Mercy's throat. Chica, who had been hiding, rushes in, splashing anointed water on the spirit. The entity wails, flickering in and out of existence. Mercy utters the last words of the prayer, and a bright light engulfs the courtyard, consuming Mama Kay completely. Air becomes still. Mercy collapses to the ground, exhausted. Chica shakes her awake, tears streaming down her face. "It's over," she whispers. The oppressive darkness that had loomed over Mercy's life dissipates. They hear the distant call of a rooster, signifying dawn. Days later, Mercy visits Baba Jide to thank him. He warns her, "Not all beggars are what they seem. Evil preys on kindness, using it as a door." Mercy nods solemnly, realizing that her blind generosity had almost cost her everything. She vows to be more discerning with her charity. The moral lesson of this story is, while generosity is a virtue, blind kindness can sometimes open doors to unforeseen dangers. Mercy's story teaches that not everyone who appears helpless is truly in need. Some may have sinister intentions. It is important to be discerning in acts of charity, ensuring that help is given wisely. Trust should not be freely extended without understanding the situation fully, as evil often disguises itself in the most unassuming forms. True kindness should be paired with wisdom to prevent harm while still making